It's good to close the door. I'm trying to play some games.
Once again, welcome to episode 4 of Paranoid Android Podcast Hour. And my name is Charlie, and I'm here with
Shinke, once again.
Shinke, the Nostradamus of gaming. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm still kind of weird, but I already found the mute button, so you won't hear me coughing this time.
Oh, that's fine, dude. Your coughing sounds it brings life to the podcast. It shows that you're human, dude. It's all good.
It is like Brahman, just someone from Final Fantasy.
There you go. Now, this past week we've seen a clip of a most anticipated game, obviously that we've been talking about. You know which one, right? Obviously.
Yeah, are we talking about what was it? Rise of Tomb Raider?
Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's one of them. I guess. I mean, if you want to play off that, but yeah, you know which one I'm talking about, of course.
Yeah, of course I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Fallout 4.
Nice, Fallout 4. I mean, we've been even through our past years of gaming, we've been just talking about Fallout. I mean, especially Fallout 3, right?
Yeah, Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games of last generation. It's like actually did talk about that a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah, we did actually, and we what we did is we gave the difference between Fallout 3 and also New Vegas.
Oh yeah, New Vegas.
And plus, you sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say that's what I'm saying. I don't like New Vegas.
And you showed me a perfect video on someone explaining the details on why is that, and it totally makes sense. I mean, Bethesda already had a formula that was right, and it was pretty much copy and pasted, and added some extra functions to there, which kind of broke it or made it a little, how do you say it, not as tasteful, I guess.
Well, the thing is, there were a lot of problems with pacing. There were a lot of problems with. The reason why I show you that video is because he puts it into words better than I do.
Yeah.
But for example, one thing, there were many things. For starters, the technical things. I remember Fallout 3 had also a lot of bugs and stuff,
right.
But at least the game was playable without patching.
Mm-hmm.
New Vegas wasn't playable without patching. I ran into a bug that I actually talked about the last time.
Yeah, you did.
When I lost one of my strength points and one of my special points and strength, so I could not. I wasn't able to carry stuff, so I couldn't. I was always limited on how much loot I could carry, and it was just bugged. There was no way I could heal it because it was tied to some sort of addiction that my character fell into. So and I couldn't fix it. And then every 30 seconds it will just freeze and the game was pretty much an unplayable mess.
Yeah.
The frame rate was atrocious. And that's the technical things. Then the Mojave Wasteland was not as interesting of a place as the Wasteland in Fallout 3.
Yeah.
That's Washington. It just felt empty and lonely and boring. It was boring. The story was dumb, and I don't know. It was pacing problems. It was a mess.
Yeah, I remember like throughout the whole story, I mean, your mission is to make it to New Vegas. And when I think of Vegas, I think of lights, glamour, thinking that the only life in the Mojave Desert would be this place. But once I got there, I was like, it's like a normal town I've seen, the past 3 hours ago,
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was not impressed. I was not impressed.
It was totally anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was. And I was like, you know what? Well, it is what it is. I'll just keep on going and see what happens. But yeah, it didn't have that flair. It definitely did not have that flair.
Yeah, and in other hand, Fallout 3 is one of the, well, I didn't platinum the game, but I put like I finished the game like 4 times at least,
Wow.
and in each gameplay, at least in each playthrough, at least I put like 60 hours. So, and when I got the Game of the Year edition with all the DLC and all that, I easily put like double time.
I remember that. I remember I was there when you bought that. I do remember that.
I'm actually looking at it right now. I have it right there on my shelf.
That's like your pride and joy, huh, of gaming. So I mean, and I bet we were super excited when we first saw the clip of this of the new preview to Fallout 4. Well, what came out to you when you seen this clip, dude? I mean, for you, what came out to you? What stood out?
Well, first of all, it gave me. It looks a lot, or it is Fallout 3. So that's the first thing. I know that I'm gonna have a similar experience as in Fallout 3. That was the very first thing that came to my mind. Like the reveal of Fallout 3. Actually, that's what came to my mind.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Also, how advanced the development of the game is.
Yeah.
Because what they showed everything on game in game
Mm-hmm.
in game engine. So they had already a lot of environments made.
A lot of content. Yeah.
Exactly, the game pretty much looks pretty much made or almost finished.
Yeah, because if you look at actually, I don't know if you consider this a leak, but there's a lot of places that if you pre-order the game, it says that the release date it's in late 2015. So I don't know about that.
I will not be surprised. Actually, I do think that it will come out. It will be because Bethesda doesn't have any other game coming out this year. They only had the Wolfenstein, the Old Blood. That's the only game they came out with.
The Old Blood, yes.
Yes, and that wasn't even a game. It was more like expansion to Wolfenstein.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have any. They haven't announced any other game. And I'm pretty sure Doom will not come out this year. Doom will probably come out next year.
Yeah.
So I think this is the biggest game for them for the holiday season. And I'm actually a little scared because if you think about it, all the games coming up this year, all of them are hour eaters. We already have The Witcher.
My God, I know.
Batman is coming out, and it's another game that's open world and has like hours, thousands. Dozens of hours of content. Then Mad Max is coming out, and I'm excited about that game. And Metal Gear is coming out, another game that will be 200 plus hours.
Oh man!
And then No Man's Sky, one of my most anticipated games of the year, of the generation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fallout 4. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. I mean, a lot of big games or games that will take a lot of my time.
My goodness, that's a lot of. I don't know how I'm going to schedule my time. I mean, out of this, I'm pretty busy, but I can squeeze a few hours a day. But still, that's like wow. That's going to be quite a big list there. List of hours.
And what were your first impressions when you saw the trailer for the first time?
My first impression, it felt and looked a lot like 3, which is good, which is very good. I mean, even the dog, I thought, is that dog meat? That was the name of the last dog, right? Was it dog meat?
Yeah, that's the name of the dogs in all the games.
In all the games, yeah, dog meat.
Yeah.
I saw the dog and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I liked the way how they played the actual explosion, taking it back when Fallout first started. And I like seeing of course, the Brotherhood of Steel is going to make their appearance. You see it hung up in that garage, and I was thinking to myself, I mean, it looks awesome. And I know that with these next gen graphics, it's going to be, it's going to be great. But right when I saw the character with the Vault uniform, I was like, you know what? This looks exactly like 3. I mean, you think they would play it safe, like it'd be a copy of 3 and not really raise the bar on it? Would that happen?
No, I don't think that's what they do. I think they actually listen to the complaints on New Vegas. Besides, most likely this game is made by the same guys who made Fallout 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it has like the same vibe or the same type of game design. Remember that Fallout New Vegas was made by Obsidian,
Right.
which is funny because Obsidian is made from people that made the
Original
Fallout
Fallouts. Yeah, you'd
games.
figure they'd take care of it, but well, as you can
Yeah,
see.
yeah, it could have sucked. Well, I will say it sucked because I'm one of the very few that doesn't like Fallout New Vegas, but most of press
Hmm.
and and other people they do like it. So I won't say the game sucks. It's just personally I don't like it.
The funny,
But anyways, just to elaborate what I was saying, it looks very similar because it is made by the same guys who made three. So I figure it will have the same type of philosophy behind
so you're
it.
going to get your real like new dose of Fallout 3 that everyone's wanted. That New Vegas did not supply, but this
Oh
one will
no,
do it.
oh no, and for example, something that made me kind of sad on New Vegas is that they had some really cool concepts.
Hmm.
For example, the whole sort of survival mode or the hardcore mode.
All the hardcore. Ah,
The
I didn't even
hardcore mode,
touch
and that
that.
was
I couldn't even touch that, man. That's way too hard for
uh,
me.
it is interesting. The thing is, it breaks the game because it makes it unplayable, pretty much. But the thing is, the concept behind it is actually pretty interesting.
It is. It
And
is. I mean,
and it
survival.
yeah, and it brought some new mechanics to the game that are good or interesting. But it's still like I remember I played New Vegas and then I got Fallout 3 Game of the Year and I played Game of the Year and I was happy. I was having fun with that Game of the Year. But with New Vegas, I was just waiting or just looking forward to finish the game because I didn't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And and I'm actually also looking at it together on my shelf as
The
well.
funny thing is that once this when Fallout 4 was announced, Steam sales of Fallout 3 it spiked. So many people
Hmm.
bought Fallout 3 from Steam.
Yeah, people who wanted to catch up, I guess.
Yeah, catch up. They didn't buy Fallout New Vegas. Actually, I know a few people on my friends list who did, but they say that Fallout 3 it's just the sales just spiked, which is amazing. I mean, because the game is still good up to this date. You know, you can still play it. It's still within the realm of of graphics and all that, but still, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Fallout 3.
Fallout 3 is one of those games that I play regardless of the graphics. The graphics to me are nothing on that game. It's just a pure gameplay, a pure role
Hmm.
play, the sense of discovery. Um, that's what makes the game for me. It is not the graphics. The game actually even back in the day it looked
Hmm.
kind of ugly. Um, but it is pure gameplay. So that's why. And actually that brings me to my
Hmm.
next point about the reveal. I don't know if you noticed or you heard all the people like always because it's the gaming community, which a proud member of. Sometimes makes me most of the time makes me ashamed and disappointed that they bitch about every
Yeah,
little
but
thing.
opinions. Everyone's
So,
opinion.
uh, well, yeah, well, the one thing is having your opinion, and one thing is just having this cello tree for
Hmm.
little details. Well, anyways, the point that I was gonna bring is that the
Hmm.
graphics. Everybody's been talking like how the graphics look last gen and they look shitty and it's all because of consoles.
Oh my
Consoles are
God,
bringing games
yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
and you hear of people complaining and whining about that. I personally, I wasn't impressed
Hmm.
about the graphics. To be honest, I wasn't impressed. But again, to me, Fallout is not a game about graphics, so I couldn't care less. But secondly, well, I'm actually right now looking at screenshots and because I wanted to point
Hmm.
out some things about the graphics. Uh, but before I go into detail, I want to hear what you think about that supposedly graphic downgrade that we heard all the time, every time that a new game
When they
comes
talk
out.
about graphic downgrades, it does not go to like a 900 resolution or nothing like that. The games still look great. I mean, the games it gets to the point that the gameplay and the story, but I don't see it as a big issue. I mean, I really don't. I really don't know what they're complaining about. I mean, because I got a PC and I could run half of these games too, but I mean, it's not a big deal. For me, it's not. I mean, the graphics, some people are just so picky on what they play. I mean, I don't know if they want the realism or I don't know if they want to get their money's worth, but I'm not all about the graphics either, man. I mean, it's nice to have, it's a luxury, but that's not the whole game.
Well, this is how I see it. How I see it is that there are some people or some part of the or some a chunk of the community who invest this money on machines that cannot even first they are not games that can run that to the full capacity of these machines, or people who actually do not understand computing, don't understand computers, and they think they can run these games that will look like
God.
Pixar movies when they don't understand how engines work, they don't understand how rendering works, they don't understand physics and all that. So a game comes out that doesn't fulfill their very unrealistic expectations, and you give them a forum like the internet and then you speech about it. That's what I've been seeing, and honestly, it's just it's a minority, but again, the minorities are always the noisier.
So you mean the uneducated
vocal.
opinions?
I don't want to put it like that, but yes,
People who have no
it's,
sources, but they put their opinion out there without a source. It's just how they feel.
exactly. Well, and one thing that I really take some beef with is how they blame their unrealistic expectations on consoles. Going back a little bit to The Witcher, how they were saying like, oh, the game is all chopped out or downgrade because of consoles. So like, dude, well, first of all, the game as they showed it when they revealed it could not run in 99% of the computers out there. You need like multi-$1,000 machines to run a game to those specs, and you can actually run it if you have a machine that is $20,000, $24,000. You can run the game the way it looks. It looked on the reveal trailer in 2013. All the tools are there, all the rendering techniques are there, and all the filters and everything is there. But something like this comes up, like the Fallout 4 trailer. They have a new art direction actually, and the graphics don't look as impressive as they might have expected that they would look. And they immediately blame it on consoles when not even. They are working with an outdated engine, and actually it actually has some very impressive things and some very cool stuff that I want to talk about in just a few seconds.
But I saw some HD screenshots and it looks good. I mean, I've seen how they have like a view of a city at night. You can see the ironwork and the pipes that just that go through the sky. It looks good. I mean, I'm not one to complain, but I think it looks good.
Yeah. Again, I'm personally not impressed with the graphics. I'm not like, oh wow, these graphics are mind blowing. But to me, well, again, going back to what I said just a few minutes ago, Fallout is not about the graphics. It has never been about the graphics, so I could not care less about the graphics. But second, right now I'm actually just putting out some screenshots. And for example, the new light rendering they're using, it's something that could not be done with past generation consoles or with with the old engine. So you can see, for example, the light bouncing off the walls and the floor, and it all looks realistic. Like you can see like how red lights will like bleed red light into the
and also I've seen like
it.
a sunrise that's like hitting through the valley. It goes through the grass and makes a shadow, like a shadow impact. Yeah, that's something totally new, obviously.
Exactly, and then you can see the mist and the fog and all that, and all the new physics particles and all that new.
I'm
cool
not
stuff.
worried,
And
man.
actually,
I'm not worried at all.
it looks. Me neither. Actually, again, to me, I don't even care how the game will look in the end. What will actually make me upset if the game doesn't play good, or it's just like another New Vegas where everything is just boring and just an empty
Wasteland, yeah, empty
world.
wasteland full of nothing. Well, I mean, the
Exactly.
Mojave Desert is empty in real life, just like the word itself. It's a desert, but still, I mean,
Hmm.
it's a game. You got to interact with things. You got to make it interesting. You got to be immersed. You got to be in the game. So it's a different type of thing.
Yeah, and another thing that I like about the new graphic approach
Hmm.
of Fallout 4 is that the game looks way more colorful
I
than it
saw
has
that.
ever looked.
Uh,
It actually looks like a cartoon
because if
when
you
you
think of
think
a
about it.
Fallout 3, it looked like a tint brown. You remember? Everything was like brownish. But in this one, the sky is actually blue. You can see the two screenshots of 3 and
Hmm.
4, and it looks colorful.
Yeah, actually, Fallout 3 has like
Yeah,
this
like a
green
hue.
look.
Yeah, like
Everything is
a
greenish,
yeah.
green brownish kind of. Yeah, and this game looks actually very colorful. It looks like one of those 1990s
Yeah.
Pixar cartoons, Pixar movies. So yeah, I'm actually like the new art design the game is coming with. The color palette and the looks of it in general.
And
I
it's
actually
taking
like it.
place in Boston, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, in Boston, because I made the mistake. I was like, wait, wasn't Boston the DLC of Part 3? But that's Pittsburgh, the Pits. I remember the name, the Pits, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I was in
yeah. It
Pittsburgh. I
was
was
in
like, no,
Pittsburgh.
I'm totally wrong on that. But in Boston, that's very interesting, dude. In Boston, I've been in Boston once, and I don't know my way around there. I mean, I'm pretty much born and raised on the West Coast, but I would like to see a new area like that, like in Boston.
They should have a cameo by Ken Levine.
A cameo, really? Oh, they
No, they should. I
should.
said they should have it.
Well, of course, that'd be a good Easter egg, a good Fallout,
Fallout.
Foul Shack, Foul Shack, Fallout.
Buy a shack.
Someone said they thought it said Bio Shark, like the animal, like Jaws.
Oh yeah,
Bioshark, what is that?
yeah. They should make that game
Bioshark.
Bioshock.
But yeah, you know what? I'm either way with all these complaints. I mean, I usually shut that noise out. I know the game is going to be great, and I'm still, even though if something happens, if people say, "Oh my God, the game turned to 8 bits," I'm still buying it. Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, Y- yeah. I'm actually pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about the game myself. And yes, again, the same thing to me. Games, I mean, Fallout games have never been about the graphics, so I don't really care. I just want a good story. I just want a good sandbox to play on. I have some adventures as in Fallout 3. I remember that most of the time I spent on that game was just wandering around, just making
Yeah,
my own
and you could.
story, just making my
That was one of the
adventures and
first
stuff.
opening games that you could that I remember that you could do that before Skyrim, before all these huge miles of open world games. I remember to me it was like at that moment. I remember I told you this. It was like a MMO without the actual players, because
It was an MMO
without the
without the
MMO.
MM.
I mean,
Well,
if that doesn't make sense, it's just a huge world where there's these people who live everywhere and they're doing their own thing, and you could come back to them and they say something different to you depending on what you did in another area. I mean, for me, that was mind blown back then.
yeah, exactly. Because I remember each playthrough I did the stuff different, and people will react to me different. And one playthrough was a
Mm-hmm.
complete. And my first playthrough, I remember I was a complete asshole. And then I did some stuff, and I turned my karma back to good, and people look at me differently. And for example,
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I did, spoilers for a
Oh yeah,
eight-year
pause
old
for a few
game.
seconds if you don't want to hear the
Uh,
spoiler. Press pause for at least 10 seconds.
I blew up Megaton on my first on my
Hmm.
first the first time that I played it. So to me, my story was not even about the whole cleaning up the water, finding my dad. It was a story about redemption. Because I started as an asshole, and I tried to earn as much good karma as possible, so I could go back to be a good person. So and that was one of the first games that allowed for something like that. that allowed for you to make your own story, or actually shape your own
That's so
character.
true.
Um, yeah, I remember like if you kill Megaton, you get the vilest karma possible. So unless you used one of the perks that
That
was added
turns
on the
you
DLC,
around.
which I
Yeah, I
didn't
remember
have
that
back
one. It
then.
turns you around. Like you get
Ex-
100% karma instead of getting the negative, right? Or something like that.
and you can get the other way around or go neutral. Um, I started with the vilest karma possible, so I had to wait. I have to work my karma up until I
Hmm.
became good again. And I remember the whole story of my game was this person who was the vilest person on the wasteland
Cool.
just
So your
becoming good
character
again.
had abandonment issues, right? From the father. He was
Exactly,
pissed at the world. So
exactly. So and it was a tale of it, and to me that was about, and the game itself wasn't about that. It
Mhm.
was just my game, and that's what I like Fallout 3, and that's one of the things also that I didn't
Mhm.
like about New Vegas, because the karma system was not the same, so I could not have those type of
Yeah, it was a
moments.
little different. I mean, it's weird because you had interactions with different gangs. I think it was like the powder gangs, the what was it called, the sheriffs in that game, the regulators, the
I don't remember it. It was
the
completely.
the
I,
NCA,
I
was it the Northern California
the
Association,
no
the NCA,
no the New Republic of California,
NRC.
NRC.
That's right. That's NRC. Yeah, they were like the police, the regulators, and there was the Kaiser. The
Yeah,
Kaiser, the
the Kaisers,
Kaisers,
the
because they couldn't
Kaisers.
pronounce Caesar, so they said like the Kaiser. Yeah, those guys. And then
Uh,
there was the oh, come on, remember the I want to say they were like the
it
Asian.
was
Oh man,
it was okay. The only ones that is again, the game to me was so forgettable that I don't even
I
remember
want
the
to say
name itself.
cons, the
But
cons.
I
That's what it
remember.
was.
Yeah, yeah. You had like the two main factions
The
was the
Kaisers, uh-huh.
Kaisers and the New
Uh-huh.
Republic of California, and then you had you had the gangs, but they were
Hmm.
not like a big faction. And then you had like and then you had the
Oh
robbers.
yeah.
Yeah, and but that's it. Actually, the only cool thing on in New Vegas was the
Oh
Black
yeah,
Rangers.
the Black Rangers.
Yeah, the Black Rangers and how they are dressed. Like they look like Helgas from Gilson, like speed
Yeah, they
bump Helgas.
did. Ah, I remember the part that you said. Well, once again, spoiler, when you tried to get your side all accumulated for the last war, and you didn't even get to see it. It was like a flash. Remember that? It was you weren't
Yeah,
even a part of the battle. It just whatever decisions you made was the outcome of the battle, and that's it. I was like, what? All right, whatever.
yeah, yeah. But even that battle had a kill switch because, for example, I was going through helping the
Hmm.
NRC, and I don't remember what I did, but I
Yeah.
unleashed an army of robots and killed everybody, and I just became the new
Yeah.
ruler of the wasteland. But it was completely unintentional. So even though that was or I mean, I see
Hmm.
the what they tried to do there. It completely
Yeah.
ruined it to me because yeah, all these cool decisions and everything just had a kill
Exactly.
switch
That
at
that's
the
the
end.
one I'm talking about. But hey, whatever. At least we got Fallout 4 soon enough. So, and also to look forward
To
to.
look
And
forward
also,
for.
what were your favorite perks in any Fallout? Well, especially Fallout 3 and I guess New Vegas. But what were your favorite perks in that game?
Bloody mess,
Bloodiness?
dude.
Oh,
Bloody
bloodiness.
mess.
That gave you a critical, right? And it just explodes the enemy.
Yeah, that made your enemies
Explode.
explode
I am into a bloody
into
mess, into
gore.
bloody gory goo or
Uh
something.
huh. Uh huh. And it gave you like 15%
Hmm.
damage upgrade.
That one, I remember in part three, there was like the ultimate perk. It was one where you before you die, you release a big, massive radiation blast. Remember that one? Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Something with revenge. I don't remember. But yeah, it was also one of the DLC. It was one of the
Uh
DLC
huh.
perks where if you
Yeah,
died, you
yeah, you're.
exploded and killed everybody. You didn't earn anything because you died,
That
so
was
you didn't have any benefits. But it was just cool
yeah,
to
dude, with an
die with a
atomic
bang.
explosion. What perks would you expect in this Fallout 4? I mean, I assume it'd be, the perks before, because New Vegas pretty much received all the perks before. I mean, it was all pretty much same perks plus a lot of other ones. Think this will have the both combined with new ones? I suppose they would.
Uh, well, yeah. Well, I'm expect to have, for example, the classic
Hmm.
perks like all those that give you more points to your special statistics, fast learner, daddy's
Hmm.
boy, stuff like that. Um, but also, many of the new perks will depend on the game itself, on the framework of the game. Because one of the things that I noticed on the trailer is that the new character has
Yeah.
like a garage where he can craft new
Mhm.
stuff or repair new stuff, or
Yeah.
at least it seems like. So I'm pretty positive that there will be a couple perks, or some of the important perks will be around that ability, the ability to build new stuff or
Hmm.
to craft new stuff or make your own stuff. So I'm pretty sure there will be a couple perks based on that.
A good crafting system would be good, like kind of an updated crafting system.
Well, they already have a good framework for a crafting system based
Hmm.
on
Oh well,
Skyrim.
yeah, based off Skyrim. Oh yeah,
So so they can just adapt it to the Fallout universe, the post-apocalyptic Steam kind of retro nuclear
like
technology
cooking.
type of thing.
It's the cooking in Skyrim, which I barely
Exactly.
used, but I cooked a few times in Skyrim. I cooked some good meals that I could not cook in real life. I made like an apple pie. I could with a few clicks.
Or stuff like make your own power armor, like just collecting
Yeah,
pieces of
exactly.
power
Like or
armors or
making a
something.
totally new armor from a schematic that wasn't made or something.
Exactly, and paint it off. Have
Uh-huh,
your own
yeah, like
paint
you're finding
jobs and
some sort
stuff like
of,
that.
remember the Tesla armor? That was some pretty cool armor, man, the
Yeah,
Tesla.
yeah, with the Tesla
Yeah, that
coils in
looked
the back
that
of it.
looked kind of, how do you say it, old? I wouldn't say retro, but like old technology with new. I don't know. It was a good mix. I really liked it.
Yeah, that was one of my builds. I used to wear
What
that
I
armor a lot
Mhm.
because it was based around
Yeah, it
energy
was based on
weapons.
energy weapons. What I used to do is I used to have every special outfit or armor depending on what I was going to do next. Like if I was going to go to a town, I would wear the, what was it called, the duster. It's like a long trench coat.
Uh
What's
huh.
it called?
Uh
The
huh.
Rady something duster. Anyways, it gave me like a +2 personality with the cowboy hat, so I could talk to people easier or get something out of them, whatever. I used to do that when I used to mingle. But then I go back home. If I want to go to a cave, I would wear like a heavy armor set because who knows what you're going to hit down there? Either a ghoul or some sort of big rat scorpion or rad roaches, whatever they had. So it's kind of cool that I had to strategize on what situation and what suit to use. I love that.
Yeah, me too. I used to do that. Like for example, when I went to a town or something, I would either take away the
Hmm.
helmet of my character or just wear like
Yeah, there
no,
you go.
normal clothes. And then when I venture into a wasteland, I just wear full armor and stuff.
That,
Part of role playing. That's what I liked about Fallout 3 the most, because it was like a true role playing experience.
exactly. And I really hope that it comes out, I mean, this year, which for some reason I doubt it. I mean, there's so much work to be put in that game, but I mean, I wish for the best. I hope it does come out this year.
To me, it's actually quite the opposite, dude. I actually think. Well, first of all, I think I'm pretty sure they've been working on the game since the Skyrim came out, and that
Uh,
game came out in what,
Kim,
2010,
I think
2011.
2010, 10 or 11. You're right. Either way, it's years back. I mean, The Witcher took them what, 3 years, 2 years?
Yes, it came out in 2011, and November 11, 2011.
Uh-huh.
Remember 11,
Oh
11,
yeah,
11?
yeah, 11, 11, 11, and it
Yeah.
turned
So
into the word Skyrim. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they've been working for that game the best part of 3 years, 2 or 3 years. So and besides, the same team who made Fallout 3 was not the same team that made Skyrim. So they've been working that game longer. Another thing that makes me very confident that the game will come out soon, if not this year, at least beginning of next year, is that all the leaks that came out last year, for example, when they were saying that Bethesda was going to announce Fallout and past T3, they all came out to be accurate, meaning that the script by then was already done. So they were already doing stuff like acting and voice acting, recording, motion capturing, and stuff like that. So I'm pretty positive that from last year to this year, they've been just working on ironing out the bugs and just optimizing the game. So not only I think that the game will come out this year, I think the game will be very polished and it will not come out with all the already infamous Bethesda bugs.
Yeah, I mean, there's always bugs that come out, especially in huge sandbox games. You'll find a few bugs here and there. And what do you think are the most memorable characters in Fallout, in the whole Fallout universe?
Well, Three Dog.
Three Dog down. Ow! Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then President John Henry.
Dude, I remember.
Dude,
those were like one of the major turnarounds in gaming when I met that character. I was like, "What? Is this it?" It was very cool. It was a very good experience finding out who he or it was.
Now the funny thing is how the character was like the ultimate nerd. He would talk about baseball, and he would talk about freedom and democracy and all that stuff, family values.
Yeah, family values. Yeah, that was pretty good. And also, one other memorable character was the Republic of Joe? What was it?
The Republic of Dave, dude.
I love that guy. Well, more history on this guy. Republic of Dave was since what was it? Washington D.C., right? That's where it was set in Fallout 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was decimated, so pretty much nobody owned anything. So this guy just had the cojones just to say, you know what, this part of land is the Republic of Dave, and he pretty much owned it. He was a president of that piece of land. It was hilarious.
Now the funniest thing is how he would rig the election, so he would be elected every time as the president. Yeah.
And also there was a cool storyline there, right? Like a betrayal. You have to tell somebody something, and I forgot what it was. It was years ago.
You could actually fix the
outcome of the ballot, the election.
That side quest was one of the most elaborate ones. It was small, like you could finish it in half an hour. But it was very elaborate because it had a lot of different outcomes. Like you could either just ignore and just let the people do with their lives. You could sabotage it so they would win. You can sabotage it so somebody else would win.
Exactly.
Or you could convince Dave to go to Deathclaw Land or something.
That's what I did, I think, to prove something or to go get something. And he ends up dying.
To prove something, to prove that he was worthy of being the president and whatnot. And then he ends up dying.
Against a group of Deathclaws, nobody survives. I remember that. Those guys were so overpowered.
If you had the poison darts, you could actually dispatch them.
Yeah, I remember I had issues with those guys, especially like a pack of them. But also, there was another character. There was the one with the Nuka-Cola Museum.
Yeah, Sierra.
Was that her name?
That's her name. That's her name. She's actually my favorite character on
yeah, because she's like, I remember you go walk into a small hut or a house, like a 4x4 room. Welcome to the Museum of Nose, and I don't know what. And there's like 4 things around the wall. It's like a small home.
And then she knows all the history.
Yeah, that was pretty funny actually.
And actually, she gives you one of the most difficult quests ever on every video game ever, where you to look up for all the Nuka-Cola quantums on the wasteland and bring it to her. and that was one to me. That's one of the most epic. That was one of my most epic quests ever on gaming, because it took me weeks and weeks to
Yeah,
finish it. Actually, whole hours and whole gaming sessions were just dedicated to hunt down and look for Nuka-Cola Quantum.
that was a pain.
And in the end, all you got was the recipe to make the
Yeah,
Nuka-Cola grenade, which was like a mini Nuka,
mini
a
nuke.
mini nuke. That was, but it was very epic, and then the girl was like completely bonkers.
Yeah, she was whacked out. She was crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, that's actually that's the reason why I'm excited about Fallout 4, because it does look like Fallout 3 a lot. I'm kind of like excited to come back to those days, to come back to those adventures that I used to have back in the
So
day.
that type of experience and the type of a playthrough. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, one of the things is, this is one of the things why Fallout means so much to me. That game came out, and I played that game when I was I was going through a
Uh
depression, and I
huh.
was shut in. It was a you already know
Sure.
about this story. When I was shut in on my room for like a year without coming out, and and it was a very dark time in my life, and that was pretty much the game that kept me company. That was one of the things that kept me company during all that time, and that actually one of the games that kind of like gave me the courage to face life again. So that's why this game is so personal to me. That's why
Uh
Fallout New
huh.
Vegas also kind of didn't click to me, because never got to that level. To me, it was nothing. So so yeah, and so far what I've seen of Fallout 4, it looks like coming back to Fallout 3, and
Has
that's
sentimental value, doesn't it?
exactly. It's like a visit from an old friend.
And an old friend that's grown
That's how it looks like.
and looks better. That's changed, right?
Exactly. That has a better lighting effects.
Cool.
And regardless if other people that knew him bitch about him changing, uh, I'm pretty
Man, what if they
excited.
made Fallout 4? What if it was like they introduced it as an MMO? How would that be?
Well, I don't know, dude. I'm pretty anti MMO
You
person,
wouldn't like
so
that, would you?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I would still play it if they have like an option for a lone player like me to
Uh huh.
have fun with the game. I wouldn't mind. But if they make it like MMO only, I the Elder Scrolls Online, I
You
will
know
not
what?
play
I
it.
played a what's it called? They had like these keys, the beta version of Elder Scrolls of SO Online of Elder Scrolls Online,
Hmm.
and my wife got the key and she played it on the computer and I was watching her play and it's not the same. I mean, it's an MMO, but it doesn't
Hmm.
have that Elder Scrolls feel to it. Because I remember in Elder Scrolls, you are the single person, you are the hero. If you want somebody by your side, you can pay
Hmm.
someone to be by you and help you, which is fine. But I'm pretty much like a lone wolf type of character. But it feels weird, like you're running around and you're gonna do this special quest, and there's like 15 guys around the area doing the same quest. It loses that feel. I can't. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I don't know.
Hmm. Yes. It's like
Mhm.
in Skyrim, for example, you are the chosen one. You are like the important
See,
character, and you are the hero. And the other scrolls is like everybody's
it
scared
is.
and
But it
everybody's the
loses that
hero.
feel of not being alone, but the feel of experience. Like as no one has been here for thousands of years. It's a tomb. I don't know what. And then you see other characters with funky names. Just running around, doing everything. It's just it's not the same. And plus, I mean, and it has that MMO attack. You know how you attack, and also you have to charge. You have to
Hmm.
charge your attack, or
Yeah.
yeah. It's. I mean, I've played the Warcraft. I mean, I've played, Final Fantasy, MMO, but it still has that same fighting style. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel the same. Some people love it. I mean, if they love it, more power to them. But I don't know, man. It just doesn't have that feel to me.
Yeah, the thing is, to me, uh, those type of games again are the are about the empowering, the escapism, the feeling like a badass and being your story. So that's why one of the reasons why
Mm-hmm.
MMOs don't click to me, because you are just one in a bunch of people
Mm-hmm.
who are doing the same. Everybody's special and everybody's the same. So I don't know. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them. But honestly, I don't think Fallout itself lends much to the MMO formula. Plus, since Test Online made so poorly, I doubt they will venture into
Mm-hmm.
that again. So I honestly hope they don't do it on MMO.
That's funny because speaking of which, I remember we also a few weeks ago, I think last month, we saw the trailer to Deus Ex, um,
Hmm.
and I mean, I think years before, or I think 2 years before, we were talking about how we saw something they wanted to make it an MMO. Do you remember that? We've seen some articles saying that they want to look towards doing an MMO for Deus Ex. I don't think you
Mm,
remember, but there was I don't know if it was leaks or reports,
no.
and I remember I was disappointed. I was like, seeing Deus Ex as an MMO, I don't know if it's going to work. But then years after, I mean, now they're coming out with a concrete game, and I was like, yes, this is what everybody wanted.
Yeah, I think
Remember
yeah,
that?
I remember now. It
Because you were
was
disappointed. You're
yeah,
like,
it was
no, don't do this. You're like, oh, please don't.
it's fine. I mean, it's fine if they make an MMO as long as they make a separate game just for the single. Like it's like Skyrim and Test Online. Like just keep the two games separate. Like you don't need to or that's another thing. You don't need to have multiplayer in every game. You don't have to make every RPG with expanse worlds into an MMO, because there's a bunch of people who don't care
Hmm.
about MMOs and who don't want to play with other people, I
Yeah.
myself included. So unless it's, for example, like a shooter like Destiny, like when or something like Diablo, like a game like that, I really don't care. I really don't care about playing
I
with
know
other
it's a
people
multiplayer. It's
unless it's
multiplayer. Yeah.
with my friends.
A very
It's
light multiplayer. Let me just add, light multiplayer.
Well, it's a very different multiplayer experience. For example, Diablo is like playing one of the old
Yeah, it
Gauntlet
is. It
games.
really is.
Exactly, and those games are like better played with
Warrior needs
friends.
food. Remember that? Warrior needs food.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. Whisper by the key.
Yeah.
No, it's the mage
That's
by the
cool.
key. And that, or like fighting games. Those are the games that you play with people. But like those RPGs, there are a bunch of people like me who don't really care about MMOs, who don't really care about
Don't
playing with other people. That's another thing that I don't like about MMOs too, is that you play with total strangers,
you do? I mean, you
and
do.
it's
It's
like,
it's kind of I don't want to say risky. The thing is, I like MMOs. It's just that I don't have the time to put in it, man. I really don't. You know what? I'll invest in an MMO when I'm retired and living like in a two-story house by the beach. I'll play an MMO for 24 hours. Why not? But now I do not have the time. I barely have the time to play these normal games that I have now, man. An MMO, I cannot invest in it. I really can't invest the time, that is. And I
yeah.
mean, I don't have nothing against MMOs besides the time, but it's just, man, it's just they're massive. The only thing I really like about them is that they never end. And in some games, I wish they never
Hmm.
ended. I wish they kept on going. The story progresses until the whole thing falls off. But I just don't have the time.
One of those games is The Witcher. I don't want that
Yeah,
game to end, but it's so massive that I still don't
don't
see
worry
the
about it because
end.
there's two big DLCs that are coming. They're going to add like another 40 hours of gameplay, so I wouldn't even worry about that.
They're actually calling them expansions,
DLCs.
not even
Yeah.
DLCs. For them, the skins they've been releasing every week. That's the DLC. But the new content are expansions. That's
Yeah, I
what they're
mean,
calling it.
it's going to be good. They're going to bring
And
back new characters, new monsters, new armor. It's going to, I mean, just play to your heart's content. There's going to be so much stuff onto that.
yeah. Anyway, speaking of
Hmm.
multiplayer and MMO, this week just came out that Sony's actually making an
Oh yeah, I
Uncharted
saw that.
collection.
Some sort of ad that was on the PSN, then they took it off.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's already official.
Uh,
It's already official. and they will come out. They will come up with the Uncharted collection in November, and it will not have multiplayer. And again, the internet outrage.
You know what?
And
Some
internet
people
started
were
to
really
bitch about
dedicated
it.
on that multiplayer. I played a few times and didn't. I think whatever. But there were some people who were actually loved the multiplayer in that game. It's weird.
Exactly, and yeah, I know. Well, my
Really?
cousin is one of them
That's
actually.
weird.
Yeah, the thing is this. This is my problem with well, uh, I haven't played Uncharted 3, and I pretty much I'm gonna that's my excuse to get
You haven't played part
that
3?
collection when it comes out.
I
I haven't
thought,
played
didn't
part
I?
3.
Oh wait, no, I didn't borrow that from you. Ah, you know what? I think
Nah,
I rented
no,
that at the Blockbuster in Mexico. And yes, Blockbuster is still in Mexico. Yeah. Oh, they're not?
not anymore, dude. Not anymore. There's
Oh,
only
so they
one store
kind of
left.
are then, but
Yeah, yeah, they're
oh
almost
man,
dead.
it's. I mean, I'm surprised that lasted this long. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. But yeah, I rented that game and I beat it, and it was good. It was like a cinematic, movie, Indiana Jones, modern, whatever. But oh yeah, I thought you beat it because I thought I borrowed the game from you. But then again, I rented it at the Blockbuster there. Yeah.
Now the one that you borrowed from me was part
Ah,
2.
Among Thieves, right? Among Thieves. Yeah, that one's a
Yeah,
good one too. That one's actually
yeah.
one of my favorites.
And actually, of the 3, I think that one's the best. Again, I cannot say because I cannot say definitely
Hmm.
because I haven't played 3.
That's good. You'll
But
like it.
it's I think everybody agrees that that one's the best. Okay, but that's my thing is and kind of tied in with what we're talking
Hmm.
about MMOs and stuff is that yes, I know there is a huge fan base around the
Which I
multiplayer
never did.
game and
Yeah.
stuff, but again, there is a bunch of people who just don't really care about the multiplayer. I don't care about the multiplayer on Uncharted. And you can bitch about they're giving you less game for whatever. First of all, and I'm kind of going to address a couple of the
Hmm.
complaints that I heard from people. They are again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So I'm not saying like they are not entitled to
Sure.
say whatever they want. Everybody's entitled to say whatever they want. But first, your opinion is not the definite opinion is, and it's not the correct opinion. It will not all the time apply to everybody. So with that said, there's a lot of people who don't care about the multiplayer. I don't care about it. I never played the multiplayer on part 2, and I never
Hmm.
cared about playing it. The only game with multiplayer, single player game with multiplayer that actually I cared about and played a lot was Mass Effect 3. That's
Mm.
it. Besides that, I really don't play multiplayer games. So there, and although and yes, that's talking about my own experience. But I know there is a bunch of people, a huge chunk of the of the of the uh, of the gamer
Hmm.
base, the community that are just like me, that they don't care about
No,
playing
I mean,
multiplayer.
especially in Uncharted, and like you said, I've heard people online they just praise it, but it's not the majority of of the gaming society, and I can't believe they're actually complaining about that. I mean, does it really need it? I thought just Uncharted itself was a great game without the multiplayer, so that's weird. It's very weird.
Exactly. Exactly. To me, saying that like, oh, it's because if you didn't play multiplayer, you didn't like the multiplayer because you never played it and you never give it a
Why do we
chance,
want to?
and
It's just shooting up and stealing
and
treasure. I'd rather play the main story, dude. I don't know.
ex- exactly saying that the game is trash, or just immediately dismissing or calling out Sony, quotations are quotations, calling out Sony on their bullshit because they are not including multiplayer is like saying like, oh, Indiana Jones, the movies suck because there is no Italian TV show. To me, that's how it feels. That's how that argument feels like, okay, dude, this game is obviously not catered to you. Okay, if this game is not catered to you, that play multiplayer. If you really want a game with multiplayer, go and buy a multiplayer game like Call of Duty. I'm not saying anything against Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty. Looking
Hmm.
forward to Advanced
Advanced Warfare.
Warfare. Not Advanced
Oh,
Warfare.
Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3. Yeah. So, but again, if you really want to play a multiplayer game and a game that revolves and has a big community, go and play one of those games. This game is obviously not catering to that fan base. It's catering to the people who actually look the cinematics of that game, who actually like the story of Nathan Drake, who missed out on the story of Uncharted because they never had a PlayStation 3 or because they just didn't play it
Hmm.
the first time around, and that want to catch, or people who would like to catch up for Uncharted 4. Another,
No, no, no,
well, go
that's
on.
okay.
Sorry.
I just want to know this collection. Is it strictly for PS4 or PS3? Both? What is it? I didn't really see them.
It is
PS4.
it is
So that
PS4.
means that what extras are they getting into this besides the multiplayer? Probably just height graphics, HD.
So far, the only thing they confirmed is, of course, bump up on graphics, 1080p, 60
Hmm.
frames per second. All the games on one
Hmm.
disc. I don't know. They haven't said much details.
I
I'm
know. I
pretty sure
figured
they
they have
will
some sort of extras
give
like
more
Easter
details
eggs
on.
or something. I don't know. They usually throw something different in there, maybe.
Yes. Well, it will have some new
Yeah, stuff
skins
like
and
that.
stuff like
Exactly.
that.
I remember I used to get those. You
And
could buy those with whatever you collect.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure they will give more details on E3. And And the other thing, another
Hmm.
argument that I heard, another not argument, another bitching that I heard online, is how some people are saying like, oh, they are giving you just half a game. They are not giving you half a game. They're giving you three freaking games
Hmm.
for the price of one. So just not because it doesn't have multiplayer, that means they are giving you less content. You are getting three games for the price of one game.
Exactly.
So I don't know how people can come up with that. The mathematics just don't add up. It's like, oh yeah, you're getting the Uncharted collection without multiplayer. You're just getting half a game. No, asshole, you're getting three fucking games in one CD. So I don't know, people. I don't know. Again, sometimes I really get upset with some members of the community because uh, I'm gonna say the forbidden word. A lot of people are entitled on this community. Are entitled. They think companies must
Hmm.
cater to them, and if they don't cater to them, it's bullshit, and gaming sucks, and the company
Yeah,
sucks,
it's
and the
kind of like
products
any other
suck.
big companies, man. You're gonna have people that just don't like what you do, and I mean, whatever, more power to them. But the majority are gonna like what they're gonna serve. They're gonna like what they're gonna have. I mean, whatever.
Ex-
Uh-huh.
exactly. For example, there is a bunch of people in the community who right now are like, oh, I'm disappointed with the new consoles, and this generation is bullshit. I've been enjoying my PlayStation a lot. Well, besides the fact that I don't have my
Hmm.
PS3 with me right now, and but I've been enjoying. To me, that trend, I didn't even feel that I
Hmm.
lost anything by getting a PlayStation 4. I
Hmm.
have a bunch of games. I'm getting games all the time, and I'm having a blast with the games that I'm playing. I'm actually not disappointed at all with the generation. But the thing is, there are people who are like, "Oh, I'm disappointed with this generation, and it's bullshit, and these next gen consoles are bullshit, whatever." And just because they think like that, they get upset that other people are enjoying their consoles. And honestly, I don't even know where the hell this
Hmm.
mentality came from. Uh,
They can't
but
afford the next gen. That's one.
that's one of the arguments. I mean, that's one of the reasons. But there are many other things. Like, for example, some people are like, oh, all games now are installed on the hard drive, and
Yeah.
and because you don't have enough space to me, that's bullshit. So I'm moving to PC gaming. And you know what? I'm like, I'm having the same problem, but to me, that's a first world problem, dude. It's like, all the games that I have on CD, if I don't play them anymore, I just delete them. Of course, I wish, for example, Sony. That's something that I give
Hmm.
Microsoft props for. Sony supports
Oh
external
yeah.
hard drives, so at least I can download all my games on hard drives and just plug whatever I
Yeah.
want to play at the moment. But to me, it's a problem, but it's like a second-rate problem. Like, it's not something that will is stopping me from enjoying my console just because the hard drive is not enough, or if I put a 2 terabyte hard drive, it will eventually run out of space. To me, that is a known issue, and some people are bashing consoles just because, oh, you have now all games are installed on the hard drive, and all the games are that need to be downloaded from the store or
But
whatever. It's
that's
like,
just
dude,
funny. I mean, if that person says I'm going to PC, man, PC is just Steam. I mean, every game is also digital on computer. I mean, you rarely find any discs to install on your computer. So either way, you're like, you have to do everything digital. Just
Yeah, that's one of the things. That's one of the things, for example, that keeps me
mhm.
away from computer gaming. Is especially in Mexico. I know in the States you can still go to a store
Oh
and you
yeah,
can still get
I
some
see where you're
games
going
on
to. Uh-huh.
DVDs. On DVDs, but in Mexico you can't. It is impossible. There is no. It's just plain and simple. You cannot get a physical copy
You
of a
have to
PC
do
game.
it digital. And
It's not
plus,
gonna happen.
forget that, the
Ex-
price of the game. I mean, they pretty much, if it's something physical, I think they'd up the price on it, right? Instead of having, digital price, a steady price for digital games.
exactly. So for example, like one of the things that keep me away from computer gaming is computers. They also have the same. They run under the same disk space
Hmm.
as consoles. So, and as you said, right now, PC gaming is all about GOG. It's all about
Origin,
Steam and
Steam, I
stuff
mean,
like
it's
that.
all
So,
about that now, basically.
eventually, I'm gonna have the same problem. I'm going to run out of this space. And the thing is, I don't have For example, if I want to play right now Killzone Shadowfall, I just pop it up the console. Just wait like 2 minutes or less, 30 seconds, what it takes to install, and just download a couple patches just to play. Not even because I don't
Hmm.
even want to play it online. And I just play it, and once I'm done, I just erase it, and I can just install it again whenever I want. But with a PC game, I cannot do that. If all of a sudden I run out of space and I want to get another game, I have to erase games, and if I want to play them again, which is something I normally do, I revisit my
Hmm.
old games all the time. If I want to play that game again, I have to download it, and download
Oh,
speeds
there it
here suck.
does.
So if I want to play a game, I will have to wait two. I will have to wait 2 or 3 hours. So I have to play it again. So that doesn't hold any value. The whole consoles don't have enough space to have all my games. That doesn't hold that argument to me. Doesn't hold any value. It doesn't hold anything because to me it's a big problem. Uh, anyways, so yeah, just addressing a couple of things that I heard that people all the time talk about, and again, it's all about
It is. It
personal
is.
preference. Uh, for example, to me, it's not like I don't know how to build a PC. That's what I work on. So I work for a
Hmm.
big PC company that makes PCs, so I can get whatever
Sure.
part I want. I can get whatever component. I can build a computer, whatever computer I want. I have the money to do it. I have
Mm.
the power to do it. But to me, PC gaming doesn't have any special. Doesn't
It's
hold
harder
any
over there.
value to
It
me.
definitely is harder. I mean, just to have access and also the internet speeds and even having the game, it is a little difficult over there. I do agree. I mean, I've been there. I mean, I tried to and I can't. It's crazy.
What One other thing, for example, like if all games, if every single game was
Hmm.
compatible with Linux, I would probably think about PC
Hmm.
gaming a little bit more. Just before we started the podcast, I was just bitching about freaking Windows just launching up. For example, on Saturday morning, or just coming from work, the last thing that I want to do is I want to deal with Windows launching up and starting up and booting up all programs in like 5 minutes boot up and all the time that you have to wait to just start
Hmm.
using your computer. And with a console, you just turn on the console and
Yeah,
just start
I
playing
know
right there.
they both have their
You don't
pros and
have to.
cons. I totally understand.
Exactly. So I'm sorry, I just went in a tangent, ranting a little bit more. I'm sorry. Yeah, this Sunday it
It's all
was all
about
about
rants.
rent.
It's rant Sunday.
Yeah, but it was because I don't know. There were just things that I think that I needed to address because so things that you hear all the time.
It's all
Sometimes you
good. I
get
mean,
tired
part of
of.
this podcast is to release stuff from your chest. See, just get it
It,
out there in the
it,
internet. Get all that in the internet, dude. Get all that stress out there in the internet.
it
It's a
is a
support
support
group.
group.
Yeah, it takes two to tango, so it's all good.
Anyways, and one last thing that I wanted to talk
Sure.
about before anything about
Oh
Street Fighter
yeah, and
4 with PS4.
I've heard a lot of static on that game. First, I mean, there was a lot of issues, and the thing is, I didn't download it, I didn't get it because I heard about these issues. But you downloaded it the first day, so you have firsthand on how this game went and how to go.
exactly. No, and the Street Fighter 4 is one of the games that I play the most on Street Fighter
I
and
know
PS3.
firsthand. You've always played that.
Exactly. The pros were very noticeable. As soon as I booted up the game, I'm like, this is not the same game. Uh, okay, thankfully, at least the gameplay issues that I found. I mean, the gameplay itself it plays good. So I don't at least that part the actual fights they didn't have any problems. I hear from some professional gamers that some professional Street Fighter players that the PS4 has input lag. I can tell you that the timing of the game feels
Hmm.
different than PS3. I'm very used to combos and stuff on PS3, and on PS4 it feels different. To me, it felt better, but again, I'm not
Hmm.
professional by any means, so I don't my opinion doesn't hold as much weight as these other guys. But for example, there were some very odd and very strange issues, like the menu. The menu was a
Are you
PowerPoint
serious?
slideshow. Yes, and it's missing options. One thing that actually kind of disappointed me. Not actually kind of, it actually disappointed me a lot. Not only navigating through the menus it was a chore. They already patched it in, so right now the game is
Okay.
pretty much playable. It's pretty much better. It's I would not recommend it, but at least I would tell you to give it a chance now because the game now doesn't have these issues. But um, but just navigating through the menus was a chore because it was sluggish and laggy. And one thing that actually disappointed me a lot is that they took the options to select character languages per character. Now, if you cannot even select now, you have to either play Japanese, old cast Japanese or old cast English. And on the PS3 version, the PS3 PC and Xbox
Hmm.
360 version, you could choose which characters were
I
played
did
on
that.
English and who played
Yeah, like
on
Chun Li, I
Japanese.
would put like Japanese, or Ryu, definitely Japanese. I can't hear him in English. No, that's sacrilegious.
Like exactly, and here you don't have that option anymore. And to me, that's I didn't like that. And another thing, like with Street Fighter on PS3, I always played with
Hmm.
my own
Oh
music.
yeah.
And normally if you play your own tracks, that just shuts down the music track of the game. And the PlayStation 4 works completely different. You have to turn the volume down
Uh huh.
on the soundtrack so you can play your own music. And on the PlayStation 4 version, even if you put all the volume down, you will still hear you can still hear the game music. So I cannot play with my own
Oh,
music
that's not good.
because the original music will bleed out. And to me, that's a huge deal because there were like these songs
Yeah,
that I
you
used to
you had your
play,
fighting list. I
and
remember
that
that.
gave me exactly no, and it gave me some rhythm on my fighting. So I used to play to the rhythm of
Like
those
capoeira.
songs exactly, and that kind of messed up my game because I cannot play to the same rhythm, the same. So I'm
I saw
fairly
some like
disappointed.
heavy hitting bugs, like with what's her name, Yuri. How like
Hmm.
if you do that spin kick she does, it throws another character and it's like blinking, and your character gets stuck. Did you see that? There's all kinds of videos online.
Yes,
They're like game breaking bugs, man.
exactly, or like invisible
Yeah,
invisible
yeah. I was like, what?
Hadoukens.
What's this?
And I never ran through one of
Mhm.
those bots
Okay.
when I was playing, but uh but yeah, and for example, one of the characters of the in one of the newer characters, the Capra, they changed the characteristic some
Uh
of
huh.
her abilities. And the thing is, in professional play, every single frame counts, and every single property of a move counts. Like is pretty much what wins you a match. And they change some of her moves in a ridiculous way. Like for example, the arc of one of her teleport moves is
You see
completely
stuff
different.
like that.
Instead of
Crazy.
exactly, and the saddest part is the game was the PlayStation 4 version of the game was supposed to be the version for the upcoming tournaments on the Pro Capcom Tour, including Evo and CEO. And now the organizers of those events, they just removed them. They're going back to Xbox
That's
360
sad.
with without any chance to go back to the PlayStation 4 version, which sucks a
That
lot.
game was it was outsourced, wasn't it? Was that what was how would you say it? Was it ported from it to an outsource? Do you know? Was that outsourced?
Yes, it was outsourced by to another company.
It's bad move, I guess. Well, look what happened.
Exactly, and Capcom actually put all blame on Sony because Sony was in charge of that game. Um, and the thing is, it was something that kind of boggles my mind is that they outsourced that to a company that is known to put really shitty ports instead of giving it to another company like Iron Galaxy, who are tested and proven to be really good at porting games, or Way Forward or any other freaking company. They gave it to the not diminishing this guy's work, because I'm pretty sure that they hard work. They're not like lazy asses, but they were not up to the
You
task.
figured it'd be, well, the
So
thing is, I know nothing about porting, so I can't give my professional opinion, but you'd figure porting this fighting game would be kind of easy, right? I mean, I don't know. It's not something that's like,
especially
whoa, so
es-
much resources, so much coding to do. I mean, I don't know. I thought it'd be something easy, but I mean, like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm just looking at it how it is.
especially when there's already code made for a
Yeah,
PC version, and the PC version pretty much is very similar to the PS4. So I wouldn't figure that it would be
exactly.
so
Yeah, that's what
difficult to figure.
that's the, the point where I'm looking from. So, but anyways, I mean, it is what it is, and that's sad that it couldn't make the tournament, man. Was it Evo? Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was not gonna happen. It's not gonna
That's
be on
sad because
PlayStation
it could have
3.
shined there, Could have been the big thing there, but oh well.
Also the other thing that kind of makes me sad is that people now will look the Street Fighter 5 with a different light. They will be more skeptical about the game, even though Street Fighter 5 is not even being handled by the same team as being made by Capcom
Hmm.
itself, and I'm pretty sure it will not have this type of issues. But because of this, now people will not have the same goodwill towards the Street Fighter
Yeah,
5.
I know they're gonna have to make up for it maybe, but it's gonna be a good game. I mean, they're gonna probably with this mess up, either way, with or with not, they're gonna really take care of this Street Fighter 5. They're gonna present it well. They just have to.
Yes, of course they cannot afford putting a bad
Oh,
game, but
especially now in their status. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean, it's gonna be good.
no, yes, in fact that if a Street Fighter 5 tanks, Capcom is pretty
I
much
know.
done.
So pretty much they're putting all their eggs in the basket on this one. So I mean, we'll wait for more and more footage. They keep on coming out with different characters and stuff, so we'll see what happens on that.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
Now, yeah, we're actually over the hour
Oh,
mark.
nice.
Although there's still a lot of things to talk about. Next week is
My
E3 already
goodness, I
here.
know we're going to have much more to talk about, so hopefully stay tuned. I mean, just stay tuned. We'll get as much news as we can and throw our passion out there.
I think we should I think
We should go to
we
E3.
should
Yeah,
make.
you're right.
Yeah, well, yeah, we should go to E3. No, I think we should have like a mini podcast later on the week just to
Yeah, of
talk
course, like a
about
15-minute, half an
uh
hour, definitely.
yeah, talk about our E3 predictions and what we're expecting about the conference and what we want to be announced and stuff. Because we didn't talk about
I
that, man.
know, but I mean, there's so much to talk about, but don't worry, we'll have time. Like you said, we'll give you a little mini podcast in the middle of this week. Meanwhile, let me just render this and send it to you as fast as I can.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't take 2 days like last time.
I know. Let me see if I can put it on tonight then.
Damn. Yeah, damn. Yeah, well, all right. So, anything else that you want to discuss before
No,
we
that'd
leave?
be it. Just if you listen to us for this long, I thank you for that, and we'll bring you more news later on.
All right. So this is Shinke
And
signing
this is
off.
Charlie, and you guys have a good week and game on. All
Game
right,
on.
take care. Bye.
Bye.